What makes WordPress so popular and so versatile is also the same thing that makes it quite vulnerable. So WordPress websites are built with a whole collection of different plugins, and the plugins are usually by different authors, different developers. They don't necessarily, speak to the other plugins and the framework all the time. So for example, maybe you have a live chat plugin that is built by one developer, and you've got a pop-up plugin that provides pop-up functionality. And those are by two different developers. And let's just say one of them updates their plugin, which they have to do for security and performance reasons, and for the fact that the web is constantly updating, upgrading, and improving. Let's just say that there's a piece of their code of their plugin that causes a conflict with a piece of code from another plugin. Then that can cause an issue on your site. Now, it's quite rare for this to happen, but it does happen every now and then. So when we update plugins, we need to make sure that it doesn't affect the site. Another reason why even the framework itself, WordPress, is constantly getting upgraded every few weeks. And the reason why WordPress as a framework needs to update all of these plugins and other functionalities that we use to build the websites. It's for various reasons. One is to keep up with the capabilities and requirements of modern website usage, speed, security, performance, user experience. The web is constantly evolving and improving. So to keep up with that and to keep people's user experience really, really good, we have to constantly update. Another big one in this day and age is because of WordPress's popularity, these plugins, themes, and even WordPress itself, because those plugins and themes in WordPress are installed on so many websites across the world, if one of those plugins gets compromised or has a piece of code that is compromised, then that compromise is now active on your website and thousands or even up to millions of different websites across the world. So when one of these vulnerabilities gets exposed or noted, then the authors, developers of these plugins then need to go and quickly patch or upgrade or fix their plugin with code. So then, we kind of get these notifications to say, okay, you need to update this plugin. So we'll do so as soon as we get those alerts. We update the plugin or the functionality so that your website won't be at risk. So that's why we constantly have to do these updates every week. And once we do update a plugin or a WordPress framework or PHP, this is so many different things. We have to then make sure that it's not impacting on another part of the website that would cause your website to go down or have incorrect functionality or just not be working. There's so many different errors that can occur. So we have to keep all of the different plugins updated on a regular basis to make sure that the site is safe, the site is performing fast, like it's loading as fast as it possibly can, and to also make sure that functionality itself is as up to date as possible. So you can put this off. You don't have to do it every single week, but what that would do is expose you to more risk. So over my 12 years of experience working with websites, with WordPress, almost every single website that I've known, have worked on, has been exposed to, for example, malware at some point, or has gone down at some point for different reasons. So there is a risk. It doesn't happen that often, but it's all a matter of how much risk are you willing to take on your website. If you don't have insurance on your car, or if you don't have insurance on your business, let's say you had an office, you don't have office insurance, that's just like a risk that you would be taking. You might not get robbed every day, but it might happen once in 5 years. And how much damage can be done to your business in that one day if someone robs it or a pipe bursts? For example, your car, if you get in an accident, it's quite an extensive risk to take. That's why we recommend weekly updates for WordPress websites. If your website went down for 2 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours a week, what impact would that have on your business? If you're running a shop and your shop was closed for that period of time, you can't trade. So sometimes it can be the same for a website, depending on how much your website does for you, how critical your website is to your daily operations. So if you need to ensure that that website, that part of your business is always on, always running smoothly as it should, then that's why you need to protect it and keep it up for as much as possible and performing as well as it can.